is a new action drama that stars Liam Neeson and Catherine Winnick and a bunch of other people. There are people in this movie, I guess. To be honest, the director's name escapes me at the moment. He should consider himself lucky because he does not get to experience the rest of my wrath in a video like this. Putting that aside, the premise and the story for The Marksman is pretty simple. Liam Neeson in this film plays a former Marine. He's a retired Marine Scout sniper, owns his own ranch, and he lives kind of on the border between Mexico and the States, and he's sad, and you know, his life doesn't really have purpose, and yada yada yada. Then all of a sudden one day, a woman and her young son come stumbling across his property because they're trying to get away from some cartel members who really want them dead. So Liam Neeson, because he was contractually obligated to help them, he decides to help them escape. During the escape, the mother unfortunately is shot and killed. That's not a spoiler, that was in the trailer, but before she dies, she says, "Hey, I need you to get my son to safety and please look after him." The rest of the movie is Liam Neeson and this kid going on a road trip. Meanwhile, the cartel is after them and the border patrol is kinda, sorta after them. And so, yay, road trip in January. Well guys, it took a couple of weeks, but we finally made it. We finally got to one of those dreaded, infamous January type of movies. That's not to say that January has not made some substantial improvements over the last few years in terms of the quality of films that they push out during this month of the year. Whenever people talk about or complain about or bitch about January movies, they're complaining about these type of movies, okay? The Marksman is one of those January movies that you feel like only exists because Liam Neeson really needs to take out a second mortgage on his third house or something. It is the definition of an assembly line paycheck type of movie. It's only here so that Catherine Winnick can afford a new dress that she wants to wear to the Oscars. Not to say the movie doesn't have some redeeming quality. Okay, it has like two redeeming qualities. One is Liam Neeson. I don't care if the guy is phoning it in half of this movie. He's good. He's a good actor, and even when he's phoning it in, I appreciate his acting ability. Even when he doesn't give a shit, he commands the screen and makes you feel like he's a badass that you can trust, that you can rely upon. You know what I'm saying? The only other redeeming quality with this movie is Catherine Winnick, not just because I like her as an actress, but also because she improved the cinematography in this movie tenfold. I mean, she is just a gorgeous piece of art to look at. As soon as Catherine Winnick showed up in this movie, I was just like, oh shit, Catherine Winnick. She just saved the movie from being dog shit. Man, when it comes to the rest of this movie, there's only one thing I can really say that adequately describes it. Boring! This movie is boring as hell. I was bored out of my fucking mind watching this thing. This film is basically just waterboarded in cliches over and over and over again. Everything in this movie follows a predictable, safe path that you've seen before. You know everything that's gonna happen before it happens. The screenplay is incredibly telegraphed and transparent. There's no room for twists or surprises in a movie like this. Everything kind of just unfolds. There's a lot of dumb plot contrivances and conveniences and things that happen that only exist, number one, to fill up the runtime, but number two, so that something later can happen as a result of this thing that you already knew was coming, and there's nothing interesting about it. Sure, there's a nice bonding thing between Liam Neeson and this kid, but even then, you feel like their relationship feels more of an obligation. Like they're kind of obligated to like each other because the script says so. It doesn't feel like a genuine bond. It doesn't feel like the time was taken to really flesh these characters out individually. It just feels like they have to be friends because, you know, movie. If you're thinking about the rest of the characters in the movie, forget about it. The rest of the characters are as cardboard cutout as they can come. I saw Catherine Winnick in this movie, I said, holy shit, okay, you know what? With Catherine Winnick, this movie might be interesting. Literally 10 minutes after I said that, in my head, I'm like, God damn, they dragged Catherine Winnick into this movie, didn't they? Oh shit. He literally does nothing in this movie but worry about Liam Neeson and provide exposition for the audience. In fact, I feel like she and the other characters in this movie only exist to show how incompetent and stupid the government and border patrol and police are in movies like this. If you're going into this movie and you're thinking, oh, okay, Liam Neeson action thriller, yeah, let's take the action thriller and let's tone that down a little bit. There's not that much action and there aren't that many thrills. The action that is in the movie is very brief and it's not even that memorable. It's kind of forgettable when you look at how they're filmed and put together. Even the villains in this movie, they're just kind of throwaway cartoon character cartel people that you've seen a dozen times over in a dozen or so other movies that do it better and have more compelling characters. The best way that I can sum up this movie is it's like an old, dusty, dilapidated doo-doo duster from somebody that's 70 plus years old. It's one of those old farts that you squeeze out of your body involuntarily, like you know, kind of like a cough, and it's only there to serve as a reminder that your farts used to be so much more interesting and so much more compelling. You're assuming that me comparing this movie to an old fart is me straining my attention span talking about this movie? Well, You know what? You have a point. The Marksman was a boring, dusty old uterus of a movie. I'm gonna leave this one with kryptonite. Oh guys, The Marksman, hey, you do not see this movie. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.